All right.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Mystical Misfits.
We're glad you're here.
So, today we're talking about something called tall poppy syndrome.
And if you've ever seen somebody get criticized just for growing, succeeding, or being visible, then you've probably seen it too.
As women who spend time in social media spaces, this is something that we both have observed quite a bit.
And not just in other people, but sometimes in ourselves too, because these things are deeply human.
Yep. So, this episode is really just about sharing perspective and opening up the conversation.
No judgment, no preaching, just information, reflection, and awareness.
Right on. So, take what resonates.
And leave the rest.
Yep.
Let's get into it.
Yep. Let's do this.
I had never heard of this, and you brought it up, and I thought, what in the heck is tall poppy syndrome? What
Right.
is it? What is it?
Well, I had asked, I'm like, is there a psychological reason why? I think I was watching a video, I can't remember.
Uh-huh.
And it was about like things that I'm never going to watch or unpopular opinions about decks that I will never have. And one of the things that rang true was that when it was really, really popular, people stopped liking it. I'm like, is there a psychological reason why people do that? Because I didn't understand that. It's not something that has ever affected me. If something becomes more popular, my thinking is, okay, well, it must be really popular for a reason. I want to check this out, you
Right.
know?
Mm-hmm.
So it got me looking. And I was like, oh, and then it was tall poppy syndrome. I'm like, what is this? So, for everyone that's wondering, tall poppy syndrome is a cultural and social phenomenon where people criticize, resent, or try to cut down someone or something that has become popular or someone who is successful, visible, or rising. So think of someone who starts gaining attention, others withdraw support, success gets reframed as ego, luck, or cheating the system. People who once cheered become distant or critical. And it's not random, it does follow patterns.
So this originated in Australia and New Zealand. In Australia and in New Zealand, they called it cutting down the tall poppy. And it's sometimes used by business entrepreneurs to describe those who criticize other people for their success and achievements. So, and I think this like originated in like the 1980s, but it's come back. It's like reinvigorated. And the fact that you were looking it up is just yeah, it's almost for people that need validation when you are extremely empathic and you feel these things, knowing that there's somebody actually has noticed it too, and there's an actual name for it.
Right.
It makes you feel like, okay, well, again, these aren't things that we're imagining. These are real things. I mean, although it's not a diagnosis for anything,
Right. It's not truly a disorder.
right?
You're
Which
not
is
going to find it in any diagnostic manuals or anything like
yeah,
that.
right. You're not going to go and your therapist is going to go, oh, yeah, you got tall poppy syndrome. All right.
Right, right, exactly. It's just more of like a collective behavioral pattern that is rooted in psychology.
Yes. I kind of link it along with like when we use terms like gatekeeping and stuff like that, words that you
Yes.
hear a lot of on social media. And this is a social media is a breeding ground for divisiveness, just people are seeking some type of a validation just by being on social media. And if you're not getting it, or if there's negativity, it can really take a toll on your mental health.
Oh gosh, yes. You have to have a strong constitution. You know, this is something that right when I started my Patreon, it is one of the things that I talked about very in the beginning. What are like the downsides of growing? And believe it or not, the downsides are you get a lot of hate. You get a lot of people that say, "Oh, you've changed."
Yeah,
I'm come on,
I know.
really?
Yeah,
I think it's more about them or us than it is about the other party who's growing. You see what I'm saying?
I do. I do because I was a small channel and joined your Patreon, and through the little tips and tricks and excellent research that you have shared in that group, my channel grew massively within less than a year. And being empathic, no one has to come right out and say those things to you for you to understand that they are feeling some type of way about that. But
Hmm.
even though I've had a couple people come right out and say it to me, but also along those lines, you feel it. The people that watch you, but they don't ever comment, but they're always watching. They're always watching.
I always feel like.
And what's awesome is, and maybe it's not awesome, but Apple, it shows you on your analytics through YouTube who's watching you.
Yep. And you know whether or not they're commenting, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Fun.
So it's a real thing. What does drive it psychologically? Let's talk about that.
Okay.
So, tall poppy behavior often comes from a mix of very human and very shadowy forces. Social comparison. So people pressure or measure, I should say, their worth against others. When someone rises, it can trigger insecurity. We've got envy, not always conscious,
Right.
not I want what you have, but you shouldn't have it. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
uh, Fear of hierarchy shifts. Your growth can unconsciously threaten someone else's place in a group. Group conformity pressure. So, some environments subtly punish people who stand out, and a scarcity mindset. That belief that success is limited. So, your wins feel like their loss. So, you might be a hero in your own life or in those around you, but somebody else that envies you or is jealous of you, you are the enemy. You know what I mean?
Yes, always that old saying, we can be somebody's villain in their story,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing, like when we share our opinions here, they are our perception. So I mean, it's our truth of things. It doesn't mean that you have to see things the way we see them. So
Right.
if it's just information, and it's things that we notice and things that we definitely feel. And I want to share because I think that knowing that this is a real thing. Obviously, a lot of people have experienced this, or they have been, you know what I mean, had this type of syndrome. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Just look it up, tall poppy syndrome,
Yeah,
and see what comes up.
yeah. And
Look
then
it up wherever.
ask questions about what it might look like.
You know, some related psychological traits, but not the same thing. While tall poppy syndrome itself isn't a disorder, it can overlap with traits like narcissistic tendencies,
Yeah,
needing to stay above others, putting yourself above others,
yeah,
um, insecurity driven behavior, passive aggressive or socially competitive personalities. But again, the behavior doesn't require a disorder to exist. Even generally, healthy people can fall into it right under the right conditions, right? And as
yeah.
you said, social media is a friggin' breeding ground of it.
Yes,
The way that the
yes,
algorithms are designed, the way that the likes and the dislikes and the need for validation and yeah, it is a breeding ground for it.
yeah, absolutely. And I think that, oh, I don't want to like specifically use any type of like my own experiences because I definitely am not trying to call anyone out. But I
Right.
think in general, we see this behavior. We see it in the comment section. We see it on our like Facebook and especially um the political arena. Somebody is always got something to say, and that doesn't mean um that it's always going to be this. Sometimes, somebody can critique you or give you advice and it's coming from a really good place. But I feel like most of this community is extremely neurodivergent. We feel when somebody has intentions that aren't coming from a good place. It's like they are coming from a shadowy place, and you feel it. You feel it in your gut. You're like,
Or
eh.
we're projecting that either way. We feel
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yes, absolutely,
But
yes.
there are ways, okay?
Hmm.
There are subtle differences in people's behavior, okay? But
Yeah.
when something becomes popular,
Uh huh.
also, why do people turn on it? You know, this is all part of tall poppy syndrome. We see it with like the light seers. Okay.
Yes. Oh,
Prime example. The
right.
light seers, when it was in the mass or when it was in the indie,
Yeah.
everybody wanted it. So
Yeah.
many people were like so upset that they didn't get into it.
Hmm.
And then it became mass market, and everybody and their brother, it's an expression, talked about it. And it
Yeah.
became very popular. And then other people, you would see these other videos come up and say, well, I don't think it's that much. You know, it's
Yeah.
not
I
that
know.
great. Hmm.
I just
So,
laugh. I just laugh because I feel like, you know, if somebody has a really good critique, you know what I mean, then I honestly can get behind that. But just
yeah.
because I don't get the hype, I came into tarot late, and I was just scrolling through Amazon, and I happened to see that, and the deck just called to me, and I was like, I didn't really, you know what I mean? I just trusted it. I thought, you know what? And I looked at a few pictures of the deck and read a little bit about Chrisanne, and I thought, man, I really, really like this. And I got it, and I was just so stinking happy. And I didn't, so I got the mass market. I missed the whole when it was first being released. And I just, yeah. And I thought, all the hard work that went into it. And it's almost like one of those timeless decks. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That,
For me, it is. I mean, for some people, it's not. But the question is, why, for me, why
uh-huh.
does somebody need to go on publicly to criticize somebody else's work unless they really have, like you're saying, a valid critique? If they're just saying it's
Yeah.
too over popularized or it just doesn't ring true for me, it doesn't resonate. Why? Why do you want to make a public declaration of that, I guess is my question. So let me read what the patterns are for tall poppy with this and this uh, subject matter in mind.
Okay.
So this is the pattern. So timeline of the popularity backlash. So stage one is the discovery. It's a deck, creator or artist appears, people are excited, early supporters feel connected to it. The energy, we found something special, right?
Mm-hmm.
The second stage is growth. More people discover it, it starts gaining traction, it becomes talked about. The energy shifts. More people are seeing this now. So then the third stage is mainstream within the niche. So everyone is reviewing it, everyone is talking about it. It becomes the deck or the creator. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the trigger point. Stage four, backlash begins. Now you start seeing unpopular opinion videos, critical reviews focused more on flaws than experience, people distancing themselves. I don't follow trends. It's overrated. I don't get that hype. Right? These are the
Yeah.
things.
Mm-hmm.
Energy. I need to separate myself from this. So, what's really happening is this is where you bring the psychology in. So, it's called identity protection.
Okay.
So, when something becomes very popular, it stops feeling unique
Right.
Early supporters may feel like this isn't mine anymore. It wasn't special because everybody else thinks it's special, right?
Oh, yeah.
So they create distance to preserve their own identity. So then the reverse status seeking. So in niche communities, being different equals status. So
Yep.
instead of I love what everyone loves, it becomes I see what others don't. So I'm special in that way. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah. Yes. Yes.
So then we have the scarcity and visibility fear. So more creators equals more competition, more success equals perceived less space, as if our cosmos is not abundant,
Right.
right?
Right.
Not everyone believes that either. That's, a spiritual belief of mine. So
Same.
criticism becomes a way to reclaim their own identity or their position.
That makes sense.
So not only does this work in people gaining success, this also works in popularity of items, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
instead of and it's emotional displacement. So instead of I feel overlooked, I feel behind, it comes out as, well, that thing isn't that good anyways. You
Right.
know?
Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
And we don't just see it in that. We see it in again, like you had said, like if you look what tall poppy syndrome is, it is the success not just of something, but it's us too.
Right.
When we
Yes.
grow, it's people. I've heard it myself. Oh, you've changed, and I
Mm-hmm.
think really I still try to support the same people that have been supporting me the whole time. It's just that if your support falls off, well then mine does too. It's
Right.
I love that reciprocal energy, and reciprocal to
Yes.
me is a very personal thing. It's a personal energy give and take. And so that's just me protecting my own energy.
Yep, exactly right. Tall poppy syndrome tends to show up most strongly when someone becomes more visible, when
Mhm.
someone breaks an unspoken social limit, or someone reflects back what others haven't allowed themselves to become. We essentially, the bigger and more visible you become more of a mirror for other people as well.
Yeah.
So it's less about what you're doing wrong and more about what your growth activates in other people. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and it doesn't mean that we're always going to be on just one side. I think that recognizing it in ourselves first is the way to understand if we might be a victim of it also. I use that word lightly because we're only that's also a mindset. So I say
Yeah,
if
we're
it's
human beings.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's happened to us or we've been the one that is also
On the
experiencing
receiving.
the syndrome
Yes.
itself. So how can that show up if like how can we see that in ourselves? Uh the subtle pullback when you stop
Yeah.
commenting like I just described. I've stopped commenting, but like the difference for me is like I stopped commenting on certain channels before I took a break from social media
Yes.
because like right now I'm not producing, so I don't get on social media as much, period. But before that, I had actually stopped commenting because I wasn't receiving reciprocal energy.
Exactly.
I never stopped commenting because somebody was growing or you know
Right.
what I mean, or I had some type of a jealousy. So I think that that subtle pullback is something that happens when
Mm-hmm.
you do feel something like, what? They've
Right.
changed or they don't deserve that. It's a reflection of yourself.
Exactly. Scrolling past someone that you used to support
Mhm.
and feeling a quiet resistance to engage.
Exactly. The watchers, but they don't comment. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thought might be obvious jealousy. It's more like or it might not be. You might not think it's jealousy. And it might not be. Okay, there could be several reasons why. But I think it's about awareness, asking yourself, is this really why? Because I have heard people talk about, I've experienced this myself, where they say, well, I try to give more of my energy to smaller channels so that they can get seen. So it's like, once somebody gets large enough, they don't need my support anymore, even though my support hasn't ended. You see what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Oh my goodness, yes, that's a big one. Yeah. And I think that there is the chance that someone could say, "I just don't resonate with them anymore," but then,
Yes.
if you're still watching them, there's something that,
Right.
you
And
know
not commenting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So, yeah, like you had talked about the comparison,
Yep. You
asking
touched. Sorry. Go ahead, Sissy.
well, I was just saying that, like, you're asking yourself, "Why are they growing so fast? My work is just as good. What are they doing differently?" But it's not failure, it's the psyche trying to recalibrate your place. This is one of those times that we can ask ourselves, "Why am I feeling this way?" It's a shadow, right?
Yes, it most definitely is. And social media like encourages it. People
Yeah,
don't realize the algorithm does encourage this, okay?
yes, absolutely.
But even from even in school it encourages it. So if you do good you get a gold star. If you don't, you don't. You don't get anything, okay? If you do the way I tell you to do it, like follow the leader, then you're going to get a gold star. If you go outside of the box and you're still doing good, you're not going to get a gold star from me, okay?
Right.
I remember when my daughter was, this was, oh gosh, this is aging me. This was probably about 20, maybe 18, 20 years ago. My daughter was in soccer and her team was just kicking butt. And we're talking about 8, 9 year olds, okay? 8 and
Mhm.
9, 10, around there,
Yeah.
that were on the soccer, different soccer, like teams and stuff like that for like the district and stuff. And they just had a really good team and they worked really hard. They worked really well together and they were just kicking butt. And
Mm,
around that time period is when the higher ups or like the city council and stuff like that, they wanted to start doing this thing where none of the kids got trophies or they all got trophies and they just got participation. Okay. And there you've seen a lot of parents that were really, for that. And then you've seen a lot of parents that were against that. Me personally, I was against it simply because that's not real life. We're not teaching our children real life.
yeah.
Because if you go for a job that has 3 openings and it's 25 people that are applying for it, guess what? 3 people are going to get that. So you don't always win.
Yeah.
It's not fair. Life is not fair.
And that is the root of the tall poppy syndrome. It is the how do you say, equalitarianism? Did I say that right?
I think so. Who knows? It's a big word. Big word. Too
Everybody
late,
thinks
woman.
that we have, or not everybody, but anyone with that mindset is in that mindset that um, we have to level the playing field. Everything needs to be equal. And
Right.
I understand that. It's just I don't equate what somebody has on their social media as thinking I know anything about them.
Right. Right.
So I and again, leveling the playing field sounds great, but like you said, the real world,
I can tell you this, when I used to do the jewelry and do the shows, I would have all my jewelry out and I was selling my items, okay, to support my buying habit of beads and jewels and stuff
yeah,
like that. Essentially, that's what it was my, supporting my own bad habit of crafting. And I would hear these women that would come by and they weren't even that quiet about it. And they would look at my stuff and you've seen my bead weaving and bead
oh my gosh,
embroidery.
yes,
It's not run of the mill bead
no,
stringing,
not
okay?
at all.
This is stuff that took me hours and hours and so much time to learn that skill and the effect of what it did to my hands as far as arthritis and stuff like that,
Yep,
right? And
yep.
I would hear these women walk by and go, "Yeah, I can do that. Keep on going." Tell me
Exactly.
that's not jealousy or envy or
They are devaluing
me.
your success.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
we see that so much on social media. I've felt that myself.
Yes.
Um, I had asked Taylor this morning, if she had heard anything about the tall poppy syndrome, and she was like, no, but I explained to her what Wikipedia said about it. And she went, that really makes sense, Mom. She said, because sometimes, depending on what side of it you're on, she said, being extremely neurodivergent or autistic, and we have a lot of that in the community,
Yes.
um, uh, sometimes we just want to fit in. And so someone like yourself is going to be like, no, I'm going to shine. I'm not going to let anybody take that away from me, you know? But then you're also going to have the people that, in order to fit in, because they don't want to go against, whether it's a narrative or whether it's what's popular, they're going to be quiet about it. They're not going to say anything. They're just going to accept certain behaviors, because we just want to fit in. We don't want to be that different.
Yep, exactly. So, we were talking, what are the things like thoughts that we might have and catching those thoughts, like why are they growing so fast? You talked about that.
Yes.
And how it's not about failure and it is the psyche trying to recalibrate your place, right? Because we're talking about identity, yada, yada, yada,
Yep.
your place fitting in.
Hmm.
But when it turns sharp, it can become something like internal criticism of them
Uh-huh.
or self-criticism of yourself, like, oh, I'm just not doing good enough, I'm not. How many times I've had people say, well, there's so many walkthroughs out there, people don't need to see what I have to say, I would just be another one. And why even start a channel, because I'm just going to be saying a lot of the same as what other people say. I have encouraged so many people to say no. If people come to watch you, they want to see your perspective. They want to see you do a walkthrough or you talk about the deck, whatever. Everyone's got a voice in it if they choose to, right?
Yes.
So we can devalue other people's successes if we are the ones that are doing this. And one of the sneaky, this one is sneaky and it sounds rational, but they probably bought followers,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
it's just the algorithm because they're good at playing the algorithm or whatever, right? Or
Uh-huh.
people only like them because of blah, 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 maybe how they look or, whatever,
It
right?
is rationalizing it when it
But
really,
it is devaluing the other person.
absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. The mind trying to restore balance by lowering them instead of seeing your own qualities, what you have to offer.
Exactly. So you might think, well, I don't want to boost them anymore, right? Or they don't need my support anymore. Look, and they've got big enough.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard people that they've gotten too big for their britches, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But underneath, I think it is just a fear that there isn't enough room for both of you, like on the
Yes.
platform or something, right?
How many times have we heard, I support the smaller channels?
Right. Yeah.
And not that I don't understand that, because guess what? Who said that? I have said that.
I've said it. Yes. I
Yeah.
don't think there's anything wrong with that. But when we make a statement about how we are mainly only supporting the smaller channels, well, what happened to the people that started off small and you were supporting them and they're still supporting you and they've actually grown larger? Why does that support fall off? This is why this is why I ask myself these
Yes.
questions,
Why am
right?
I threatened? It's the whole why should I be threatened of that? I shouldn't.
Right.
I'm happy to support others. I have no problem with it. And because I think that, to me it's a reflection of myself. Emotional contraction instead
Yeah.
of inspiration. So like, what might that look like? What, you know, instead of letting, like what I just said, instead of being threatened, why not let that inspire you, right? Make
Yeah.
Instead of making you feel smaller or letting something like that, allowing something like that to make you feel smaller, tighter, or like quieter, let it inspire you. Do something with that. I think that that's perfectly fine. I've heard, well, they copied me or they did. Not always is that copying can be flattery also.
Yes, that's the way I see it now. I haven't always felt that way, but I do see it that way now because let's be honest, who's really got an original idea anymore?
Yeah.
Especially in this, somebody's done something already. The way that they, do their pairings or the way that they do a review. And I did teach a lot of people how I do mine, and I see a lot of people that are doing them the way that I did them.
You inspired me big time. And I made sure that that was one because, I mean, your Patreon is $8.88.
Right.
Like, and to me, what I learned and I'm still learning from you, comes from a place of doing research and then sharing those things because you are proof of the pudding that it works. And I thought, oh, okay, I started joined your Patreon, and then the little tips and tricks I used for myself, and it was like, holy spumoli. So yeah,
Holy spumoli.
I changed up my set, my my camera, all of that, like the way I do my walkthroughs. I changed it up, and people were coming. I love the setup. I love it. Looks so much nicer, and I don't know. It made me feel good because yeah, I was learning, and it was coming through in my content, and it was getting cleaned up, and more people were following more. It just
Isn't that what people do though? Think about it. When you watch a movie and that movie scene was so like popular, people take on like terms. I have heard people repeat like the phrases that I use,
mhm.
the way I say something, that they just kind of adapted it. But that's no different than me idolizing like an actor or a movie and a movie scene and saying, like, you had me at hello. Okay. Shit like that. So I don't look at that as somebody trying to steal your identity or anything like that. I do look at it as a thing of flattery, right?
Yes.
But not
Yes.
everybody does. Why? Why? We have to check that too. I think that's our ego. I think. Who knows?
I definitely think ego is the biggest thing that drives our bus. It's that inner child that doesn't have his driver's license yet.
Right. Get out of the way.
I'm coming through whether you like it or
I
not.
don't know how to use the brakes yet.
Yeah. Yeah. And I when you first told me about it, I thought, oh my gosh, because you was like, have you ever felt this, Carla? And I'm like, I have. I have. And then, when you start looking at other people's behavior, if you don't look at your own first, you know,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yes.
oh, and then understanding the psychology of it to me was the most important thing because it is social media is again, it is that breeding ground for um validation. You can come off looking like a hypocrite, and that I see a lot. People
Yeah.
attacking other people for things they're doing.
Yep. And maybe not even realizing they're doing it.
More than likely, yeah.
Like people talking bad about people that use friggin' AI and they're on a platform that's driven by AI.
Yeah,
Hello. Or they're using eyelashes that are fake and AI, and they're talking about how less spiritual people are that are using AI.
and
I
calling
mean,
it trash, that right there, that was I
mm,
I I don't care for that. I think
the
that
programs that they're using are also using AI.
yes,
And, you
yes. A
know,
little research showed me that, digital streaming, in which I actually put a post out because I have a hard time listening to somebody that is on social media and has a large platform saying something about AI when they're also part of the problem just by being on social media. I'm
Yep.
never going to do that. Do I have a problem with what we're doing to the environment? Yes. That is also another reason why I'm not pumping out videos. I don't want to be part of the problem. Do I still want to share my voice? Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Is
But
there a way to avoid it? There isn't anymore because
no,
our infrastructure, so much of our
no.
infrastructure is run from
Yes.
AI now.
Yes. Am I still watching Netflix? Yeah.
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 It's all part of
Are
the
you still
problem.
on YouTube and watching YouTube videos,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, I mean, I'm not going to throw my voice out there and critique it when I'm also part of the problem.
And being a hypocrite, more or
I'm
less.
just going to
Yes.
see it for what it is. And if I can do anything on my end, I'm going to do it. You know,
Yes. Yeah.
my best person and not let someone else try to minimize that.
Exactly. Why do they do that? Is it because they see other people that are doing well in their life? Hence, tall poppy syndrome. Yes.
Yes.
So when someone is caught in that tall poppy tension towards you, it rarely shows up as direct, obvious hate, at least not at first. It's usually more controlled, strategic, and disguised as something else. So, do you want to walk through some of those things and what it actually looks like on your channel?
Yes. Like the energy withdrawal.
Yeah.
So people who used to like your videos or comment consistently or share your work, suddenly they go silent, they stop engaging, and they lurk without interaction.
Yep.
There's no conflict there. It's just a disappearance. And I think that that's the first sign. That's the first cut.
Yep. Then we have a change in tone. Their comments shift from, oh, I love this, this helped me so much, to something flatter, cooler. So interesting. That's one way to look at it. Instead of just being supportive or thank you for sharing
Yeah.
or anything like that, it's just, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
And it's not
because
negative, but it's just no longer warm or supportive, right?
I don't know two people that have the same exact opinions on everything.
Right.
So, yes, support doesn't mean pointing out something that is different from yourself. Support is just supporting someone else and what they believe in. And
And
it doesn't diminish what you believe. I
right.
don't I that's a mentality that I have a hard time understanding because I think two truths can be,
True
truth.
at the same time.
Yeah, true at
Yeah.
the same time. Thank you. Yes. Yes.
Then the middle stage or the masked resistance is backhanded compliments. Stuff like, oh, you've grown a lot. I just miss the old you. Oh,
Mhm.
you know, that's
Mhm.
me putting my finger down my throat and puking. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, you're getting popular now. Don't change too much.
Yeah,
Glad
condescending.
this is working for you.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, yeah. I think that when you are looking for reasons to stop liking something or reasons to just not like someone, then you never really like them in the first place.
Yeah. Maybe.
Maybe.
I do think it's more about our own shadows than it is about the other person.
Oh
I
yeah.
really
Oh
do.
yeah,
Because the
absolutely.
more visible we become mirrors for other people, whether that's the things that they have never allowed themselves
Yep.
or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know. But another comment is, I preferred you when your channel was smaller. You know,
Oh
like,
my goodness. Yeah.
shut the hell up. Really? Why is that?
Yep. Because I wasn't as, researched. It made you
It
feel
had
better about
nothing to do
yourself.
with that. You know what? Here's the thing though. I'm going to say it. There are some big channels,
Mhm.
including myself sometimes, that does not know what the hell I'm talking about. Just because I have a bigger channel does not mean I'm an expert in any means. Nobody is just because they have a bigger channel.
That's
Okay?
right. That's
You
right.
know, sometimes it can be That's a terminology that they used was just the algorithm picked it up and made them popular, and a lot of people seen their stuff and liked it and liked their personality, whatever the reason. We can't always understand whatever the reason is, but it doesn't mean that they know anything more than somebody that's just got 50 subscribers.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
there's
Some
absolutely
people
nothing to that.
some people might come out later in an aspect of like, I'm ready to share this information, but they've been studying for a long time or have on hands-on experience and just started a social media platform, a channel or something late. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, you just don't really know unless you actually give them the time and listen. Don't just start watching a minute in because Joe over here said, yeah, they're not a good channel. Um, and
Right.
then give them a dislike.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
That's another thing with this tall poppy syndrome. Is that you find yourself gossiping right behind the
Hmm.
scenes and slandering, even though it's in a private forum. There's groups where people get behind the scenes and they will throw people's names in there and say, yeah, don't buy this from them, don't
Right.
do this from them because they use this or they do that.
Right. I think a lot of that is like bullying behavior
Yeah, definitely.
because somebody becomes popular and they're afraid of retribution if they don't fit in. So
Hmm.
that is like, yeah, feeling that need to fit in. So they might feel differently. And, how do I say this? It's all real life, but they might feel differently behind closed doors than what they're allowed to share or what they feel confident enough to share in a public format because of these said people coming after them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with having support groups.
No.
It's the whole when you're trying to like shadow ban somebody. Pretty much that's what it is.
Yeah, I was told by one of my friends
Mhm.
that my decks, because of some of them, not all of my decks are even AI. My early
I
ones, no
know.
AI, but I would get people that wouldn't support me anyways, and people that I have supported,
Mhm.
right? And that they put me on some sort of list in a big tarot group that I'm no
Yeah,
longer a part of
yeah,
to boycott all of my stuff.
yep,
Well, I mean, you do what you got to do. I hope that, it makes you feel better to know that
right.
you're trying to hurt another human being who's just doing the best
Yes!
that they can to get through the day, right? And
Uh-huh.
making products and expressing themselves the best that they can
Mhm.
in their works. Good for you. I hope that kind of same attention doesn't ever get targeted to you, but it is what it is. Does that kind of stuff stop me? Nope, not at all. Not at all, because I see it for what it truly is.
That's
Tall poppy
it.
syndrome.
I was just having this conversation with a young man, a friend of my daughter's the other day, is when you become the observer of your life, that means you observe it. You're not like smack dab in the middle of your life and only looking at things from one view. You know what I mean? You got a higher perspective of things. You actually can see that what you're doing might affect other people.
Yeah.
And so that's another reason why we like to talk about these things, because it's not like we haven't done these things. It's the only reason that we can speak on them. And then we've had these things happen to us. We feel it. We understand it. And
Hmm.
these things, just like you said, aren't normally, it's just because someone else has the problem, not you. Unless you are the one that is also, experiencing this, then that's an opportunity in my eyes to take a look and say, well, why do I feel so threatened that I need to, try to devalue this person?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And then understand
In
that
a
if they,
public way.
yeah, and that if they are devaluing you, then that is because of them. not you.
Having an opinion about something, here's the whole thing, even about like AI. I respect your choice not to buy and wanting to know whether or not something is AI. I respect
Absolutely.
that.
Yep.
That is your choice without a doubt. And I
Yep.
do honestly feel like more people should be saying whether or not they're using AI, because there's a lot of people that it looks like they're not using AI, or I should say they're saying that they're not, but it sure looks like it.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
But
Yes.
but I just take people at face value
Yep.
instead of just automatically assuming, because there's going to come a time where you're not going to be able to tell the difference.
I believe that.
It's
Yep.
already getting there. Okay. I
Yep.
do ethically think that people should reveal whether or not they're using AI technology, but be honest,
Yes.
because there's a lot of ways of using AI technology.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. And it's not just artificial intelligence, it's also just digital as far as like what it is that is contributing to the environment. Those are the problem. That's the argument that I just can't listen to. I can listen to somebody, talk about AI as far as like again the ethical standpoint of it. I absolutely agree with that and I stand by that. It's the whole that environmental issue, but yet you're on a digital platform.
Do you ever get mammograms? Do you ever get any kind of medical
Yeah.
screening or anything like that? That's all AI technology now.
Yes.
Do you bank? Do you do online banking or
Yes.
banking, anything like that? Transfers.
Yeah. The only
That's
way to
AI. Are you on
truly
Facebook, Instagram? Are you on the YouTube? AI.
we would have to totally take out the grid.
Exactly. And we are not saying that, guys. No
No,
way are we
we're
saying
not
that.
saying that. I'm saying that if we're, we can back off. We can back off, a little bit here and there, but then it's not my place to tell you to back off, and it's not your place to tell me to back off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
It's
how
like we're back to
self-righteous.
2020 again on whether or not you're wearing a mask or you are wearing a mask, whether or
Oh,
not you're vaccinated, whether you're not, you're the most disgusting person because you didn't get the vaccine. You know what? Grow up already.
yeah,
Okay? Grow
yes.
up.
Stop letting that inner
Take a
child
look at your own
no fucking
spirituality,
driver's
please.
license.
Look at your own spirituality, please.
Yes, I agree, Sissy. So, what are some of the subtle undermining things that you've noticed?
Um, People attack your authority, you
Mhm,
know. Where'd you get that information? How do you know that?
mhm.
Or they question you just to trip you up, right?
Yep,
Or reframe your messages, speak as if you said different words than what you said.
that's a big one.
Yeah,
Mhm.
giving you correction when you did not ask for it. So unsolicited advice a lot of times it's these people that are lurkers that don't ever watch you, don't ever support you, and then they come in with one nasty comment.
Mm,
Okay.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Ways of trying to undermine who you I had somebody I was showing their deck and talking about another topic. And I said that in the very beginning of the video, but that wasn't good enough. And they had to come and say how I'm doing misinformation and just like, you know what? That's what I'm talking about. People that
Yeah,
never come and comment until they've got something nasty to say about you.
yeah.
Where does that come from?
Tall poppy syndrome.
Right.
It's like I can't get that out of my head now.
Oh, I've seen other people that come in also when you're doing a hashtag or made a video and they come in and say, "Oh, this reminds me of another creator who explained it better," or "Yeah, I watched it over here on this channel first," or "I just did it," and then they try to put a link to their own video under yours.
Or they don't even acknowledge that you are a person that created a hashtag.
Oh, that's a whole other thing too. I did ask about that also. Because I have had, and I don't know why. Maybe because people realize that it upsets me until I hope those people feel that happening to them too. And maybe they have. I don't know.
Yeah.
But where somebody, I do a hashtag, I create a hashtag. So Oliver, my goodness, it's always something. I create a hashtag and you get people that specifically will watch a lot of the other videos and comment on it and on theirs and do the hashtag. And either they don't even link it back to you because you were the original. These are people that have been on YouTube for a long time. They know how it works and they specifically do not um you know say that it was you, or they don't even come over and watch or comment on your video.
Yep,
Why is that? That's tall poppy syndrome.
it is. Absolutely.
We cannot have something. I want to, you know, I want to comment on what you've created, but I don't want to give you any support for it.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
Why do you do that? Why do you feel the need to do that? Now, I'm not talking about the ones that are brand new and they don't know the difference. They don't understand. I'm talking about the ones that have been doing this for a while. They understand it perfectly and they disrespect. So I hope that people don't turn around and do that to them someday. But that is how energy works.
It is
So we'll
absolutely
see.
is. It absolutely is. That's why, I mean, reciprocal is also, I remember looking this up earlier. Reciprocal is also in a way of mirroring. Sometimes we do that unconsciously, but it's still reciprocal because reciprocal really is a personal energy exchange. So
Yes.
it's just something to remember.
Oliver, go lay down. Sorry. You can hear my dog. Um, so they may watch your content and even content occasionally, but they still will not share, recommend, or publicly support.
Right.
So I don't see that too often, to be honest with you.
Hmm.
Either it's somebody that does support or they don't. That's how I see it. I don't ever expect anybody to share or anything like that. I don't even follow that. I don't know who shares my stuff.
I
So
don't, yeah, I don't either. I try to share other people's stuff when I'm on. If I'm like really affected, I'll put it in the my post just because I'm like, wow, yeah, I hope you watch this type stuff.
I do that, and I've also done it in the group, but a lot of times I just forget to do that because it's not like something that I commonly do, you
Exactly. So
know.
it's hard, yeah. It's
And
so it's
honestly,
not
I don't
coming from
hardly ever see people's uh
your community
community
post.
stuff. It never comes up for me.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So what are some of the escalated signs? And I know that you felt this. I have too. Uh,
passive aggressive comments.
yes.
As if somebody that is a queen of passive aggressive sometimes is not going to see when somebody's being passive
That's
aggressive with them.
absolutely. I've been there, done that, and might do it tomorrow. I don't know.
Hey, we're menopausal ladies, okay?
I try to be the observer of my life, but sometimes I am affected by it so much that I will be deep in the doo doo. You know what I'm saying? And that's when the emotions are driving my bus. Again, that's when I hand the wheel to that the driver who doesn't have a driver's license. There's no doubt the intention behind this. Someone says people need to use discernment with this type of information, or with
Oh
a tarot
gosh.
reader like this, or this feels a bit ego driven, or I just hope newer viewers don't get misled. Really?
Right, exactly. I'm a better tarot reader than you. My ethics are more important than yours. You're not a real tarot reader. You're not a real witch. You should be doing this if you're a witch. That you are, this is your label regardless of whether you claim it. I'm telling you this is what you are. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
It's not the outright hate, but it's still signaling, oh, you better be cautious of her or him
Mhm.
or they. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
There's nitpicking.
Yeah.
Um,
Tiny mistakes, word choices, the delivery style. Yeah.
and it's not because it matters, but it gives them a way to reassert control or possibly superiority.
Yes.
It's just that, again, that equalitarianism type.
Yes. So if this is your God, this is how your God appears. So You know, if you say, well, this is how I work with Hecate, or this is how I work with Lilith, or this is how I work with, and that's not right. People will come in and say, well, that's not how you do it. That's tall poppy syndrome.
At least I see it that way, by golly.
Well, it is. They're trying to level the playing field.
Level the playing
You
field.
need to see
Yep,
things the way that I see things.
exactly. Check yourself.
Exactly.
Reframing your growth as something negative. This is my personal one that I have felt, where someone says,
Hmm.
you've changed. This feels less authentic now, and you used to be more grounded, because my expansion somehow makes you feel uncomfortable.
Exactly.
That
That's the truth of it.
it is. It is. And it feels to me like, again, before I knew the term tall poppy syndrome, I'm not taking it as I've changed. Not if I'm still supporting you, you know.
And
Eventually,
it's still the same material that you've
yeah,
been doing.
yeah,
How
yeah.
is it that you've changed? How about your perception of that person has changed because their channel has grown? It's you, it's your shadow. Check
And,
yourself.
and who is going to tell you you are authentic or not?
The only
Who?
person that can do that is yourself.
Yeah.
Yes, that's another one.
That
Authenticity.
word is
Oh
just
my
like
God.
overused. I've done it myself. That's another. I'm like, how? I'm not going to know if somebody's authentic. That's so pompous of me and self-righteous to even declare it. But I have, and I'm thinking, no, that person ain't. Well, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I've when I've had it said back to me, that whole mirroring, it made me looking at myself and go, well, I'm not gonna know. Or no, it's like, how dare somebody question my authenticity? Yeah,
Yeah. How would they know by watching you on social media?
yeah, exactly. If I'm talking about something that happened to me and I get emotional, um, I'm emotional, I
Right.
can't.
That's real. Those are not
Exactly.
fake
I can't.
tears. That's not for a
No.
show. You're not an actor.
Yep. But also,
For
if
God's
I'm not,
sakes.
I'm still being authentic, because that's me. And
Your self
nobody,
expression. Yeah.
even if I am covering something up, I'm still authentically me.
Well, right.
I'm not gonna like I'm just gonna put it all out there. No,
Right. That's the thing. Social media is about what we choose to share. It's not about revealing everything, every part of us. When you go to work and you put on a work face to deal with the public, that's still authentically you. It's just another aspect of you.
yes, that's it. Aspect of yourself. Absolutely. Absolutely. God, like that is social media in a nutshell. It's going to trigger your shadow eventually, one way or not. Not everybody's going to be your cup of tea.
Right. Yes.
But how would you see that in yourself? You know what I mean? How would you see that shadow in yourself? If you find something about it, like you are watching somebody consistently, or you
Yep.
know their content deeply, I would
But
definitely.
rarely engaging.
Yep. Hmm.
And if they do drop a critique, it's only in the times when, or a comment, it's in the times when they're trying to be disruptive or critiquing you, showing you
I
where you
wasn't
haven't
going
done good
to.
enough.
Yeah, I wasn't going to share an example, but like people in our coven, our sisterhood, I call it a coven because that's what it feels like. Um, they know the personal things that I've been going through, right?
Right.
Just like when
Yes.
something happens to you, they know. So I don't share everything, but it's pretty obvious why I stepped away for a little bit to people that do know.
Right.
It's obvious, and my behavior on social media has been a reflection of that. So I let people know, like, if you comment on my last video, the last content that I actually produced, when you comment on that, that signals me I'm going to make sure that I at least get over and comment on yours. That's a very personal, reciprocal exchange. And then I put that post on there to let people know that I'm going to do that, and they comment on the post.
Right.
you know I'm like, thank you. I appreciate your support, but you missed the point a little bit. I was trying to say that I definitely want to support you, but I need that reciprocal energy exchange to know that, I am valued, right? You know,
Yes.
I'm on social media. I'm seeking validation just like you are. Why
Exactly.
lie about it? I'm going to be authentic in how I feel. And to me, that reciprocal exchange is something that is important to me, because if I don't feel it, eventually I'm just going to be like, all right, okay. I'm just going to stop commenting, because, it's like I hate to say this, but I have noticed also in the past, I haven't really been on YouTube enough to actually comment as of recent, but sometimes people will say, I don't understand why people are not commenting on my stuff, or um, because it is a reflection of how you are. Reciprocal energy is important, whether we want to acknowledge that as a truth or not. I think it is. And I think that we are like yelling that out very clearly, whether we're just saying those words. Reciprocal energy is important because we see it in the way people, like, they will go to someone's channel that may not be very supportive, and they're commenting, and then all of a sudden they're not getting the same uh uh engagement. And then,
Hmm.
but yet the person that is commenting on their stuff, they won't go and watch their stuff. And so they're wondering, what in the heck is going on? Why am I not getting this engagement? It's because certain people, may not be very reciprocal, like very engaging, and respond to comments, but yet but if you're not, you know what I mean? Because again, I just don't resonate. And it's cool that you commented on my stuff, thank you, but I don't resonate with you, so I'm not going to watch your stuff. It's still, again, you can support somebody without supporting something that you don't totally resonate with. Why? Because you're just supportive, and you like being supported back. It's, to me, that is, I think it's the underlying reason why we're on social media, is to have our voices heard.
If not, why be public about it?
Exactly. So then,
Why
yeah,
make it public? You don't have to.
if you're not, yeah, exactly. So if you're not getting the same engagement back, then I would say that to me would be like, well, maybe it's the people I'm commenting on aren't as supportive, and the people that are commenting, maybe I need to comment on their stuff a little more, even if I don't
Exactly.
resonate. I'm so that I'm going to be in this group right here, and if you want to sit with me, come sit with me. But
Oh,
those are
like the
words.
cool kids table? Oh,
Yeah, those are
please.
words.
Yeah.
Actions speak louder than words.
Always.
Mhm.
Always.
Yes, and if we're complaining, let's figure out, let's get to the root of it. Maybe you got tall poppy syndrome.
I think we've
Sorry.
all had it. I mean, I think it's impossible for
Yeah.
us
Oh my
not
gosh,
to
we're human.
have it to some degree because,
We're
yes, we are
human.
human
We're human.
and we are taught to compare ourselves. I
Yeah.
mean, essentially, it's part of it. But I
Yeah.
said, would you think, because I have this thing where I'm supportive, and then when that support stops, my support stops.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
period.
Yeah.
So I asked, would you think that it is tall poppy syndrome if someone stopped commenting on a person's channel that never ever responds to their comment section? Because there's one person in particular that I'm thinking of
Right.
that had made a post about, that their particular video is that reciprocal information. That's that energy
I
exchange,
don't agree with
right?
that. Yeah.
I don't either, but it says not necessarily. And this is where discernment matters more than instinct. What you're describing can look similar on the surface, but it can come from very different motivations. The situation, someone used to comment regularly, stops
Mhm.
commenting, the creator never responds to comments at all, right?
Right.
Is that tall poppy syndrome?
No.
Most of the time, no. Tall poppy energy usually involves resentment, undermining, passive aggressive behavior, or some form of reaction to someone's growth.
Yes.
Simply stopping engagement doesn't automatically carry that charge.
Right.
So, more likely explanations is reciprocity burnout. So, this is the most common one.
Mhm.
People naturally feel I'm showing up here, but I'm not being seen or acknowledged.
Yep.
After a while, they may think, well, why am I putting energy here if it goes nowhere? So,
Mhm.
it quietly stops, right? Not out
Yes.
of resentment, but out of self preservation of energy. That's what I have talked about.
Yes.
I need reciprocity. I
Yeah.
am more than willing to come over and support you if I can, if I have the time to
Mhm.
support you, if I feel your support. But if I support you and you don't come over and comment ever on my channel,
Right.
then that stops.
Right.
Or if I'm not getting, not that, okay, so if I'm watching a channel and I was commenting and commenting and commenting, and this
Mhm.
person that it's their channel, they never acknowledge or respond to the comments section or pick and choose which ones they respond to, and I'm not one of them. Why would I engage on that channel again?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I've done that a few times too. I've noticed that. And then yeah, and I don't think that's tall poppy syndrome either. I think that's
No, I
somebody
think it's
protecting their their energy because to be reciprocal, it is a energy exchange, right? It's very personal.
exactly.
It's
So
not that.
why do I need to expel my energy if that person's not going to acknowledge me anyways? That doesn't mean I didn't find value in the video or I'm going to watch the video. I'm just not going to comment.
Yes, an equal energy exchange. Now, we do hear that word equal again, but you are leveling the playing field in your own mind, not trying to devalue someone else.
Right, exactly. It's not that their content might not be valuable or that I think that they're a bad person, but if they're not going to reply to me or acknowledge
Mhm.
my part in, because nobody's ever required to watch me or watch
No,
anyone for that matter. That
exactly.
exchange is our time,
Mm,
our energy, not our comment, not our like. We
exactly.
don't, we don't that's not that's more of somebody
You
that
don't
is an
owe it
elitist
to
kind
anyone.
of personality that thinks that somebody owes them that because they
Exactly.
did a video. No, not at all.
It's the whole thing of the whole reciprocal energy thing anyway. It's like I feel like it's a very personal thing and it can be negative and it can be, I prefer it positive, but it can be negative. And I think that's the negative response on that is could be tall poppy syndrome, you know what I mean? But
Yes,
the positive is what I'm seeking, it's what I'm searching for, and that type of reciprocal energy is it's empowering. It's good, and I only want to do that for someone else. I have no desire to devalue anyone else.
exactly. I don't either. I don't expect everybody to always comment because I do understand that it takes time and energy to do that. So I appreciate if you're just watching,
Yep.
okay? Even giving me your time. I appreciate that.
Yep.
But I am saying I do understand
Hmm.
that if I never ever reply to your comments,
Hmm.
why would you comment on
Exactly.
my
Yeah.
channel to begin with?
Yes. Exactly. A bigger channel that gets a whole bunch of well, like if they do get a bunch of comments, I am a person that will read the comments, and you can tell if the creator is making an effort to respond, and the chances of me piping in are really high if that creator is, but that's again,
Engaging with their
yeah,
audience.
it has no reason for me not to comment or anything like from tall poppy or feeling any type of jealousy or
Right.
it comes from a place of okay, I either know that this creator is going to respond and do I want to give them my energy or am I just desiring to watch the content and leave it at that?
Exactly. Yes. Yes. That's how I feel.
And I think that the thing of it is with a community that is extremely neurodivergent and because we are watching everybody's stuff, and we are a little bit of a tight-knit community. We know of each other, we get hints.
Yeah.
And when you can see someone is constantly commenting on someone else's, but yet they won't come to yours, yeah, you might start to feel a certain way that, okay, but you were, you know what I mean? You just notice
Right.
things.
Yeah.
It becomes information. And what happens is you take that information and you use it accordingly. That's it.
Exactly. Like I said, for me personally, if someone's not supporting me also, it's not that
Mhm.
I think that they're a bad person. Maybe they
No,
don't like my content. Maybe they
right?
don't like my personality, whatever.
Yes.
But that also means that I am not going to go over and support them because
Right.
it's about my own feelings, about my own self worth. It's my own boundary. Not
Yes.
that I think that they're a bad person by any means.
Yep. Yeah. So if you think about that, it's like, what is the point of even talking about tall poppy syndrome? Well, for myself, it was really uh important for myself to learn about this, to understand that when I'm feeling that someone might have this towards myself,
Yeah, people take
then
it personally.
I
Yeah.
don't take it personal. I
But they
realize
can. It's so easy to take it personally.
it
That's the point.
it can become a mental issue, absolutely. But I think that's kind of I mean, that's why I want to share it with other people. I want
Right.
to share what I've learned about this, because you don't there's no reason to take it personally. You know what I mean? Because you what is the saying? You accept the behavior that you think you deserve, and you don't
Yep.
deserve somebody devaluing you. You don't deserve somebody making you feel like you're less than. You don't deserve uh, people gossiping about you. Just let it go, because it has everything to do with them, not you. It's them. And also, it's an opportunity to take a look at, well, have I been on this end of it? Have I been the one that has experienced this tall poppy syndrome? Have I done it to someone else? Chances are we have.
I
I
do want to clarify something here though.
what's that?
We are in a group, in a quite large group. And
Mm-hmm.
when somebody comes on and makes a video that is public and sharing some really not so nice opinions of groups of people, do you think that we go back in our private group and we talk about what we just witnessed and our feelings about it? Some might consider
Yes.
that gossip. I do not. I think that person put it out in public for everybody to see. And so if others are processing that are in the same community, not in a public manner, but amongst themselves, I don't look at that as gossip because the person put it out in public. So
That's true. That's very true. And we can help each other process feelings. There's been plenty of times that we have talked about that,
it's
and
a
then we
support group.
come away from the conversation feeling empowered, not
Exactly.
depressed, and usually it gets nipped in the butt. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's no, because if we this is where I had needed the sisterhood earlier, would have been perfect to keep me from making that video in retaliation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's the whole thing of, you don't have to carry it when you do have a group. It's a very human thing. So
Yeah.
it's not anybody pointing the finger at you and saying, "Oh, shame on you. You got tall poppy syndrome."
That's
Oh my
funny.
god, I got tall. Is there like a pill? Is there a pill I could take for that? You know, I need to go to my therapist. Well, no, I mean, like you said, that's a good reason to pop into your group and say, "Man, guys, I got tall poppy syndrome."
It's just about awareness. It's just about seeing
That
our
is.
own patterns. That's
That's
all it
exactly it.
is.
It's information that you can use it accordingly, right?
Right. Yeah.
You're on a path, you're walking a path, and you come up to this fork in the road. You go down the tall poppy syndrome path, or do you walk a path that I don't know what's behind that path, but you know what? I haven't traveled it yet. Let's go down this one, or one that you know very
FAFO, right?
yeah. 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 Now, if you're listening to this and you have something that you could, help with tall poppy syndrome, please drop it in the comments. Share, or, share something that you share, like maybe this was tall poppy syndrome and you experienced it, or you were the one on the receiving end, or whatever. Share your stories. I mean,
Yeah,
to me, why not? Why not? I mean, without like publicly shaming anybody, because that I don't think we need that. You know what I mean? There's no reason to do that. But have
that's the problem that I have when people try to actually pinpoint one person. Okay,
yeah,
be vague about it. I think be vague about it. Do what you feel you must,
yeah.
but you know, I just don't like doing that. There's a way of sharing how you're feeling and emotions without actually giving too much, I think.
I think
I don't
it's just
know.
giving people the benefit of the doubt. I mean, again, like questioning someone's authenticity, or saying because they use AI that there's something about them, it must be bad because they're using AI, or whatever it is. Whatever
Yeah.
excuse you want to give yourself to minimize that person, ask yourself why.
Yeah.
Just ask yourself why. Because again, somebody in your life is going to piss you off, or somebody um is going to make you question yourself. But that has everything to do with you, and what they're doing has everything to do with them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I look at the older I get and stuff, I look at my neighbor as I do myself. I'm like, you are a mirror of me, and that whole golden rule is still do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I still feel that very deeply.
Yeah.
I've just expanded upon the whole psychological aspect of why that's such a good thing. It's in a way just to convince myself. But again, it's all information at the end of the day. I'm observing my life.
Observing your thoughts, your actions. Why
Yeah.
did I do that? Asking yourself questions all the time. That's what shadow work is.
Yeah. And I am
Okay.
full of dark and light. And I try to meet that in the middle, because I'm never going to be just one or the other. I am both.
Exactly. Do I think I'm a good person? Some days. Do
Yeah.
I think that I've got shitty sides to me sometimes? Sure. Absolutely. I think I'm a human being just like everybody else.
I know when I let go. And usually it's when no one's fucking watching. That people that says, be your best self when no one's watching. I do try to do that. But there are times, and specifically, I say this a lot, but it's really the truth. I still do it. I just don't, and that's when I'm driving. I don't act upon, I just say stuff. That whole thing I was joking about with you guys the other day, I had somebody ride in my ass, and I turned into Clint Eastwood. I'm looking in my rear view mirror. I'm like, go ahead, punk. You want to ride my ass? Go ahead. You really think you're gonna
She
like?
was driving, just so everybody knows.
You really think? Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Clarify that. You think that if you ride my ass, that I think you're gonna like bump me? No, because then I'm calling your freaking insurance company. I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? It's like, go ahead, punk. Yeah, some people might have more road rage than I do, and it could escalate. That's my stupidity. But I wasn't like, I was just giving them the Clint Eastwood look. That's all.
Come on, punk. Make
And
my
do I
day. I
say,
dare you.
and do I say stuff like, go ahead, fuckhead. I say shit like that all the time. I do. I'm horrible with that. I'm like, okay, shit stain. Go ahead. Fuck you. I say all sorts of nasty things. Unless the grandkids are in the car, then I don't. But if I'm by myself, yeah, I let the nasty words fly out of my mouth. And I'm thinking, Carla, why do you let that get to you so bad? Because I'm human. Because I'm human, and sometimes the darkness does kind of, envelop me sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, again, we're all human. And you're right, Sissy. We should probably cut this. So, yeah, drop your comments. Let us know you were here. And I apologize. I know I'm not very active on social media, and I'll get there again. But it was a pleasure sitting here today with you, Sissy, and talking about this stuff.
Yes. I hope we can do this more often. There's always more topics we can talk about and
Oh,
complain about. And
oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a good time.
we're crotchety old ladies. What can we say?
It's a good time.
Yeah, for a good time. No.
Oh,
Oh,
all right. Well, I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their day, and thank you so much for being here.
thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye bye.